F1 News, Renault star Daniel Ricciardo makes funny admission over new team. Ricciardo had to stop racing after colliding with Red Bull teammate Verstappen appeared to make a defensive move, and the crash forced both drivers out of the race. And Ricciardo has admitted that the incident was a factor in his decision to leave Red Bull. "I couldn't tell you how many little pieces made up the puzzle, the kaleidoscope, but I guess that was one of the little pieces," Ricciardo said. "We both got a talking to, putting it politely, but in my eyes, I guess the incident itself was. I felt like I was not really in the wrong even though I was the one that hit him. I think most people saw the double move," Verstappen made in defense. "Even before that, there was a lot of contact and I think a lot of people thought it went on too long. I guess the way it was handled at the time didn't sit too well with me, so that was like a little thing that bothered me. But it wasn't the deal breaker, if you know what I mean." Next news. Hamilton, great to see W10 running as smoothly as it is. Reigning champion Lewis Hamilton didn't set the timing boards light during his first day of testing in Barcelona, but he did get a good, long run in for Mercedes, and the Brit is happy with how faultless the W10 is running. Sebastian Vettel was a whopping 2 seconds faster during Monday's testing in their respective fastest laps, but that isn't representative in the slightest in terms of where both cars are pace-wise. For one, Vettel was running the softer C3 compound in the morning to clock some fast times, while Hamilton was merely doing longer runs to test reliability. While doing that, Hamilton was very pleased with how his car felt after he finished on Monday. At the time of writing on Tuesday, Hamilton sits 7th on the day's timing table, but with 74 laps, he has completed the most laps out of anyone. "It feels quite a bit different compared to last year," Hamilton was quoted by fans after the first day of running in Barcelona. "We're now getting to know it. Trying to understand the balance and trying to understand the characteristics we're working with. It's good to be back in the car and it's great to see the car is running as smoothly as it is. It's been a positive first day. We got through our running plan and there are lots for us to learn about the new car which we will be working on." Next news. Vettel not a fan of really ugly new front wings. It's safe to say Ferrari star Sebastian Vettel is not a big fan of the look of the new, wide front wings, as the four-time champion called them really ugly when asked what he thinks of them. Vettel topped the charts by quite some distance at the first day of testing at the Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona, as the 31-year-old was half a second faster than any other driver and a full second faster than anyone who was on the same compound as him, the C3. On top of that, he also ran more distance than any other driver, logging 169 laps in the SF90 when it came to the new wings, though he wasn't as enthusiastic. "The front wing I think looks really ugly," he told race fans. "I don't understand why it is so wide. I think years ago we went back because we said it's actually bad for racing. Now we bring back wide, so maybe we forgot to take notes." "I think if you look at the rest of the car it's beautiful, the front wing for all the teams it looks a bit weird." He did mention, though, that it wasn't all bad, as he explained the feel in the car isn't dramatically different. "It drives better than that it looks, to be honest. You don't feel a big difference. I think for everyone the question is how much you lost compared to last year. I think we are still catching up but it looks pretty good at this point." Next news. Leclerc shines as Ferrari continues to set testing pace. Those determined to build the hype in terms of Ferrari's driver lineup this season, warning that four-time world champion Sebastian Vettel is on notice from his new teammate, Charles Leclerc, will be relishing the fact that halfway through the second day of testing the youngster is only marginally off his illustrious teammate's pace. Running the C3 compound, the Monegasque completed 73 laps this morning on his way to posting a best time of 1:18.247, just 86s off Vettel's best lap yesterday. Despite the question mark over its matte livery, the SF90 looks good, stable when changing direction and its rear end firmly planted. A late charge saw Kevin Magnussen take second place in the Haas, the Dane doing so on the C3 compound. Indeed, tires remain an anomaly, with some drivers appearing to perform better on the harder compounds than the soft. That said, Antonio Giovinazzi was sporting the Red Bandit C4S when he posted his best time of 19.312, which put him third on the timesheets, while Lando Norris claimed fourth, 19.489, on the harder C2S. There was a scary moment for Daniel Ricciardo when the Australian lost part of his rear wing on the main straight, causing him to spin off onto the gravel at T1. While it has been suggested that the cause of the failure was due to the DRS opening being wider this year, Renault has not commented. However, following the incident, the Australian didn't run again and ended the morning with only 28 laps under his belt. Poor Alexander Albon, who is making his first appearance in an F1 car, other than last week's shakedown, brought out the red flag just moments into the session when he spun off into the gravel at T4. However, contrary to claims that this was due to the new tire blanket rules, a suggestion made by Romain Grosjean following his off yesterday, Toro Rosso team boss, Franz Tost, says it was down to steering. It was a steering issue, he told the official F1 broadcaster. We changed something from yesterday to today, but it didn't work out as we expected, and therefore we changed once more to yesterday's version. World champion Lewis Hamilton had an anonymous morning, quietly getting on with things as he put another 74 laps on the W10. As ever, the Mercedes appears to have great traction exiting corners. This afternoon the Briton hands over to Valtteri Bottas, while Nico Hülkenberg steps into the Renault vacated by Ricciardo. All in all, a quiet morning, with the 9 drivers on duty completing just under 500 laps between them. Next news: Vettel serves notice of his 2019 intentions. Let's get one thing straight from the very start, for all manner of reasons, not least the uncertainty over fuel loads, it is far too early to start making predictions about the forthcoming season based on today's evidence. That said, Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes, McLaren and Alfa Romeo can head back to their hotels tonight knowing that at least they have reliability, and in the case of the Maranello outfit, pace also. Sebastian Vettel completed 169 trouble-free laps today, and other than a minor spin at the very start of the session, neither the German nor his car missed a beat. Not only does the car look stable, it appears to be kind to its tires. Obviously it's very early, the first day, and it's meaningless in a couple of weeks, the German subsequently told reporters. But for now, huge compliments to everyone back at the factory. First impressions yesterday were good and strong, he added, continued to the shakedown at the weekend, the same today. The car is working. I certainly got enough laps today and I'm going to sleep well tonight. The guys are very happy. How they tackled the new rules and regulations and what they put on track today is very close to perfection in the first day of driving, he continued, the amount of laps we did, how the team was handling the car. Everything is more on the edge compared to last year's car, he admitted, tighter and so on, what you would imagine. But no major dramas, so from that point of view we are very well prepared. It was unbelievable, he grinned, the car was working really well. We had no issues slowing us down, we actually completed the program just the way we wanted. We were able to squeeze a little bit more out even. Finishing the day second quickest is probably more than either McLaren or Carlos Sainz dared hope for, and while the Spaniard's best time was posted on the softer C3 rubber, the 119 laps tally is a lifetime away from the horrors of 2015. It looks like our hard work has paid off, said the Spaniard. It's been a very positive start as we've been able to run without big issues, play a bit with the setup of the car and gather data to analyze. Good job everyone, because 119 laps on the first day is a good step. There's still a lot of margin to improve the car, he admitted. Following today's work, we know more clearly the direction we want to try. Now we have the information for a strong debrief, so we will keep working and moving forward. At Haas it was an up and down day, Romain Grosjean losing track time this morning due to a fuel pressure issue, but in the afternoon he was able to put in some competitive times. I think we can be happy enough with our day, in terms of the car's feeling, said the Frenchman. We didn't have a smooth run in the morning, but saying that, the afternoon went better. We had lost a fair bit of track time, but we recovered to put in some good runs. The team's done a good job again to produce a car that's very nice to drive. There's more work to do obviously, we need to understand the car, but at the minute I'm very happy with what we've got. A great first day for the Red Bull-Honda partnership, Max Verstappen posting the fourth best time and the second best tally in terms of laps. Late in the day the Dutchman also scored a psychological victory of sorts, when, having trailed Vettel for a couple of laps, finally nailed the German with a late move. Though the moment is hardly likely to cost Vettel any sleep, those couple of laps running in the exhaust gases of the pace-setting Ferrari will no doubt have given the Red Bull engineers some vital extra data in terms of the new regulations. To do 128 laps on the first day of testing is a really good day, so I'm very happy with that, beamed Verstappen. We collected a lot of data, which is really important, and we'll analyze everything tonight to see what we can improve on tomorrow when Pierre is in the car. I'll also go into detail tonight and tomorrow to see where I can improve for my second day. So far, so good, and I'm happy that we were able to do so many laps. I'm looking forward to the rest of the week. Kimi Räikkönen, on his debut proper for Alfa Romeo, bookended the day with red flags. The first caused a when he spun at T5 just moments into the session, and the second when his car stopped on track with just 2 minutes remaining. Though not sporting the basic front wing witnessed at last week's shakedown, the Alfa continues to impress many within the paddock, and with 114 laps completed the car is clearly fast and reliable and therefore a threat in what once again should be a tight midfield. Daniel Ricciardo spent more time in the pits than he would have liked, nonetheless he will be fairly pleased to end the day 6th quickest, albeit having posted his best time, like Sainz on the red-banded C4 rubber. It was a productive day, said the Russian, and it's good to be back behind the wheel. We managed to do quite a few laps, which is important on the first day of testing to get some mileage under your belt so you can see how the car behaves. It's too early to draw conclusions, but I think we have a good baseline for now and we need to keep working on that. Every time we were on track it was smooth running, and everyone was operating at a high level. I have another 3 days in the car, which gives us the chance to improve on the things we worked on today, so we will look over the data to see which direction we will take on Wednesday. I worked with my new engineers and we all understood each other well straight away. It was certainly a good start. Like Max Verstappen, the Russian enjoyed some fun and games in the afternoon, when, on no less than 3 occasions, he found himself scrapping over the same piece of tarmac with Lewis Hamilton. Eventually, clearly tired by the silliness, the Briton left the Toro Rosso for dead on the pit straight. It was a difficult day for Sergio Perez and Racing Point, the Mexican finishing 7th on the timesheets but with only 30 laps to his credit. The team subsequently appeared untroubled by the limited running, citing teething problems, among them a small oil leak. "It was a typical first day of testing," said Perez, "with a lot of checks and not a lot of running. It was effectively our shakedown and, even though the day was a bit shorter than expected, I felt quite happy with the car straight away. The mileage wasn't great but I think it was still a promising start. I am happy with the performance we managed to get out of the car and with its balance. The conditions weren't great, the track was quite cold and green to begin with, but I end the first day feeling positive. It was important to start understanding the car as much as we could and for me to make myself comfortable with it as a driver." Mercedes and Renault both split driving duties with one driver in action this morning and his teammate driving this afternoon. Interestingly, both teams stuck with the harder C2 compound for much of the day, posting their best times on the white banded rubber. Bottas finished the day 8th quickest, but driving in the afternoon, teammate Hamilton was only 8ths off his pace. "I quite enjoyed this morning," said Bottas, "it's good to be back at the track. I did 69 laps and there were no major issues with the car, so it was a relatively successful run. Since the car is brand new, we immediately found ways to improve the balance and the behavior and we will continue to work on that in the next days." It's good to see the car running well and it proves that the entire team is doing a great job, both in Brackley and Brixworth, but also here at the track. I'm looking forward to a more time in the car tomorrow afternoon. It's good to be back in the car, added Hamilton, and it's great to see the car is running as smoothly as it is. It feels quite a bit different compared to last year and we're now getting to know it, trying to understand the balance and trying to understand the characteristics we're working with. It's been a positive first day, we got through our running plan and there's lots for us to learn about the new car which we will be working on. Thank you for watching the video. Be sure to share and subscribe to your channel to get the latest sports news around the world. Wished health and success. Goodbye.